It's Gorman in the morning with Fletcher and Ryder. Now, 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning. Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Good Monday morning. It is the Ides of December. Watch your back, Shakespeare fans. I am happy to be here alongside Paul Fletcher.
I'll tell you what, who needs warm temperatures when we've got Billy Guerin in the state of hockey?
Woo, baby. Ryder?
If any of you are looking for any last-minute gift ideas for me, I have one. I like Frank Shirley, my boss, right here tonight. I want him brought from his happy holiday slumber over there on Melody Lane with all the other rich people, and I want him brought right here with a big ribbon on his head. And I want to look him straight in the eye, and I want to tell him what a cheap, lying, no-good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dog-kissing, brainless, hopeless, heartless, fat-ass, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed sack of monkey shit he is. Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
I'm feeling Christmassy.
Yeah, you are.
Uh-huh.
Man, that'll kick it off.
Oh, yeah.
We should pretty much just lead the show every day this week with that.
Don't spoil it, man.
No return on that kickoff. Not a chance.
Yes.
Woo, baby.
And cousin,
Jelly of the Month Club, bring it on.
and Cousin Eddie was listening.
Happy to be with you on a Monday morning. It is time to get right back into the swing of things, Paul Fletcher. I'm feeling Minnesota, so lay on some headlines, please.
All right. Well, this weekend was one of those where your body parts hurt if they were exposed to the air for long enough. The worst wind chills happened yesterday morning. Minneapolis hit -10, St. Cloud -18, Lakeville -15. Thief River Falls had it worst in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Let's take guesses. Thief River, where were they at? This is feels like temperature.
I'm going to go,
Feels
they
like?
felt like the lucky 17 under.
I'm going to go 21.
All right. How about -41 in
Oh.
Thief River Falls
Hiya.
yesterday morning, my friends?
Fair enough.
Absolutely brutal. Legendary filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Singer, were found dead yesterday at their Brentwood home in what police are describing as an apparent homicide. Rob Reiner, known, of course, for Spinal Tap, Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, A Few Good Men, among many, many others. LAPD responded around 3:40. Reports indicate the victims were stabbed, and now sources are saying it was their son.
Nothing to say that a bunch of other people won't say a lot better who knew the man, but I mean, what a career and what a generous human being. What a great guy Rob Reiner always was. He was on this show a while back.
Okay.
For his podcast, Who Killed JFK, and we had him for probably 15 minutes, and it felt like he would have gone for an hour. He was just so accommodating and gracious and funny. And career-wise, as an actor, fantastic.
Yep.
As a producer, the man greenlit Seinfeld, and was his company produced Seinfeld. That alone is like, I can retire. Castle Rock Entertainment, if you think about how many things, how many times have you seen that lighthouse at the beginning of a TV show or a movie? But real quick, to just put your director, you listed a few movies. Listen to this run. 84, Spinal Tap. 85, The Sure Thing. Tremendous comedy. 86, Stand By Me. 87, The Princess Bride. 89, Harry Met Sally. 90, Misery. 92, A Few Good Men.
Damn.
That's a pretty good run.
That's a run. That's Led Zeppelin 1 through 7 right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that is an incredible, and again, scratches the surface of all the things that he was responsible for. What a humongous career, and what a horrible, awful tragedy for that entire family and for everyone who loved him. Man.
Absolutely. Liam Gallagher, different L, has denied speculation of an Oasis reunion in 2026, despite fan hopes and bookmakers' odds. He responded, as he often does on social media, to a fan by stating, "We're not doing anything in 2026, sorry." He further clarified that there is, quote, "nothing going on next year except the World Cup." Gallagher's past denials of an Oasis reunion, though, have been overturned, leading fans to question whether or not anything he says even matters.
It doesn't. I mean, they came, they saw, they conquered. They'll just do whatever the hell they feel like for the rest of their lives.
100%. Crazy. 15 years ago this weekend, the Metrodome's Teflon roof collapsed due to heavy snow. Where were you when the dome caved in?
Yeah, I remember very clearly. I was I believe I was either still on the road or just got home. It was right at the end of a year on the road, and just looking at that and going, wait, there's no way this actually just happened. I mean, just completely. And I can only imagine the reaction around here. I was obviously nowhere nearby, but holy crap.
It was pretty bonkers. Vikings were set to host the Giants that day. The game was moved to Monday night at Ford Field in Detroit. Vikings lost. They weren't very good. Brad Childress had been fired just before that. It was just an all. You know what? It was, I guess, kind of like the cherry on the sundae of a pretty bad season, actually.
You know, I actually just zeroed in and remembered. I will be willing to bet I was in Las Vegas the day that happened. That's somehow I just connected those two things. I was still out. Yeah. Yeah, and just look at it going, this can't possibly have just happened. If there's one roof in one city in America, I would think that would handle the snow and ice, it would be the one in Minnesota.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
A skydiver in Queensland, Australia is lucky to be alive after his parachute deployed when he jumped out of the plane. Here's Angus Mitchell. He's the Chief Commissioner of Air Traffic.
Without having that hook knife, we most likely would have seen a very different outcome. Calm and collected actions from the parachutist, but equally for the pilot involved as well. The pilot was faced with an aircraft that at that stage didn't have the control that he would expect.
So the video is
nuts,
horrifying.
Yeah.
You see a bunch of people they're gonna do like a 16-person jump and all do a tandem and all do whatever,
crazy
do backflips
patterns,
and there's a 17th guy who's just going to go film it. Well, one of the members of this team, as you said, he's about to jump out of the plane, and his auxiliary chute just opens up, and it drags him out, and the chute wraps around the back wing of the airplane.
Right.
And he's just dangling from a plane. And my first thought was, if I was one of the other parachutists, I'd be right out that door. Get me the hell off this plane, because that does impact the pilot's ability. I'd be worried about my buddy, but I'd be like, this plane's about to go down. And so the dude is his chute catches the back wing, and at first, from the video, he's looking down like, what's going on here? And then he looks up and realizes, I'm stuck to the wing of this plane.
Yeah.
And he's able to pull out a knife and cut himself loose. It's an incredible thing to see. It's a miracle nobody was seriously hurt in this. And it's one of those, it's reason number 9 million that I'll never skydive. There was a time in my life when I had it on the list. I'm absolutely going to do this. I will not feel like I lived unless I at least one time jump out of a plane with a parachute. In my 20s and even 30s, I felt that way. And then one day I woke up and was like, thank God I never went and did that. Don't feel like I missed out on a thing.
In my early 40s, my father-in-law is retired Air Force, and so he was going to hook it up. There's a massive air show at Offutt Air Force Base in Omaha. Okay. He was going to hook it up so that I could jump with the Golden or the Knights, whatever they're called, the Army's jump team.
Yeah, the Golden Knights.
I mean, if you're gonna trust anybody, it'd be those guys, right?
Sure.
But it never came together, and since then I've very much changed my mind.
Yeah.
All right. I've jumped out of a plane with a dude strapped to my back, and the feeling is indescribable. It is so amazing. And even though this guy hooked his auxiliary chute on the back of his plane, and yes, that's a very dangerous situation, I bet he gets in a plane and jumps out again.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
That is how awesome it feels.
Wow, okay.
So,
well, it sounds like it's kind of what they do for a living, too. So if they're a jump team, you know what I mean? So it's probably...
Now I feel like the biggest wuss bag I've ever met. So thanks for that, Ryder.
You know what? I'm totally cool to be this wuss. Two self-driving Waymos in San Francisco crashed into each other, trapping a third and blocking a whole street. Of course, it was all caught on TikTok.
So the Waymos are causing a traffic jam.
I just pulled out of the garage and I saw this going on. It's like this Waymo standoff.
Oh, because they hit each other. This is so funny.
Is it, though? The guy that said, I just want to, he's like, his car is trying to leave his residence and he can't. He's blocked in by self-driving cars that crashed into each other.
Not good.
I mean, it's San Francisco. You shouldn't be doing cars anyway. That place is nuts.
It's a very good point.
You can get around way faster on foot. And, if it was regular cars and not self-driving cars, we wouldn't be so freaked out about it. It was pretty funny, I thought.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it is. We got to get these things figured out, though. We got to get them working correctly.
I think they're just they're the personification of Silicon Valley in itself. I mean, or the carification, if you will. It's like it's completely metaphoric every time something goes wrong with self-driving cars. I'm like, yeah, well, okay, thanks for burning down humanity, AI douchebags. Can we talk sports?
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's talk about the fact that we're not leading off with the Vikings, because since we were last on the air, the Minnesota Wild picked up a player named Quinn Hughes from the Vancouver Canucks. A guy that was drafted 7th overall in 2018. He's been with the Canucks his entire career. They find themselves in last place, and they're like, all right, there's no way we're re-signing this kid, one of the great players in the league. We got to find him a new home, somewhere he wants to go. And that turned out to be St. Paul, Minnesota.
Yeah.
What a ginormously astonishing trade the Wild pulled off over the weekend. And last night, first home game against the Boston Bruins, Quinn Hughes in a game that looked like the Wild already had it in hand. Why not go ahead and just add to the fun?
Hughes in. He scores! Woo! Welcome to Minnesota.
I'll just say this, and then I'm going to let you say a few things, Paul.
Okay.
I follow hockey like a guy from the South follows hockey, which is when it's on, I love it and I watch it and I watch my team, but I'm not like paying attention to the league. I've heard this kid's name before, but I couldn't have told you what team he played for before the trade. Okay. Watching the game last night, there's that thing you see with certain athletes. You're like, well, he just looks different on the ice.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys. And I'm telling you, if a knucklehead like me immediately is like, man, check him out, that's pretty exciting. And, of course, I've spent the last 2 days being learning and reading everything about just what a fantastic pickup this is.
It's the biggest trade in franchise history. Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, we haven't been around that long. The other thing I would just say is what you just said is that, somebody who casually watches the game, he stands out to your eye.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing I guess I would pass along is that I've always, as a hockey nerd that grew up here, I've always been a fan of the defensive game, and he's a defenseman, and so he's been one of my favorite players since he got in the league, and so now that he's here, it's kind of mind-boggling. But just the fact that he's going to be really, really fun to watch, even if you aren't a huge fan of the game. If you find yourself at a Wild game, he's going to be a fun dude to keep your eye on, for sure.
Since November 1st, this team is 10-0-2 at home.
There we go.
Come on.
Yeah. Nice.
Come on.
The last couple of seasons, we haven't had that, so it's kind of nice to have that home ice advantage again.
6 shot attempts. Oh, by the way, game high 26.55 on the ice. So coming in with a bit of a splash. Oh, did someone say football? The Minnesota Vikings beat the Dallas Cowboys last night on Sunday Night Football.
Freaking crazy.
Yeah.
Can you spell winning streak?
Right? After throwing it in.
Yeah. J.J. McCarthy opens the game with a horrific interception and then shakes it off. And then leads the team in a game, which is kind of astonishing. 2 touchdown passes to Jaron Naylor. Hawkinson, that seam route up the middle in the third quarter. There were many, many moments throughout this game where you looked at McCarthy, who granted had a perfect pocket. The offensive line did their job, and the defensive line for the Cowboys is not very good. That said, he did exactly what you hope he would do, especially as and I will always call him a rookie quarterback this season.
He is.
Everything we've been looking for, we're seeing now for the last couple of weeks, but that's a huge turnaround for J.J. McCarthy. So just to recap, he beat the Bears on the road on Monday night to open the season. They now lead their second team in the conference, leading the division.
Nuts.
He beat the Lions in Detroit. He beat Dallas last night on Sunday night when everybody's watching, and now he's got 2 straight wins, and it's like, okay, everybody can breathe a little bit as we look ahead. This team still has a chance, not a huge chance, but they have a chance to have a winning record this year.
Wow.
If they win out, they're 9-8, which will be an incredible accomplishment. Now, that's Detroit and Green Bay again in their final 3. But let's just say, for the record, pretty shocking little turnaround we're seeing all of a sudden.
You've talked about wanting to see little things from him.
Oh, yeah.
And I think on a big stage like this, to open the game with an interception and rebound and have the game that he had.
Oh, yeah.
That right there is huge. Yeah, for sure.
No, he's definitely got that. He's got that thing where he, whether it makes sense or not, is pretty convinced he's great.
It's encouraging, man.
Doing the gritty into the end zone, kid looked like he was having fun.
He was absolutely having fun, which, and I'll say this, my reaction watching that as it happened was, dude, come on. And then I'm like, you know what? Screw it. We're not going for the playoffs. We're going to run on every 4th down in the game. This is fun. Let's do it.
Yeah.
The Timberwolves got a win last night without Anthony Edwards, without Mike Conley, and also without Rudy Gobert, who left middle of the game for what the team called personal reasons.
Okay.
Sacre bleu. I don't know. Something went down. That's why you shouldn't check your text messages during a game.
Right.
That's fair.
I don't know. Seems to me. But this is the first of a 5-game homestand. Memphis in town Wednesday night. The Wolves still rolling around. The main thing that we've seen from the Wolves in the last 2 weeks is those fourth quarter collapses. Suddenly they've okay, we're making better decisions late, and that's a good thing. Columbus, happy to have you with us this morning.
Hey, Columbus. Hi.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Men at work.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, the good old days when a weird-looking dude from Australia could dominate the charts.
Did he have a lazy eye or something like that?
Yeah,
okay.
Super lazy. Boy, great singer, though. Saw him do an
100%.
acoustic set just by himself. Him and Colin Hay. Acoustic guitar, going through a bunch of songs I'd never heard, and then the occasional Men at Work hit, and I sat in a room, this is 10 years ago, thinking, well, who knew this was the greatest singer I've ever heard in my life? He was incredible. And he's been with Ringo Starr's band for years now. And if you ever go see the Ringo's All-Stars, man, he just gets up there, and when they do those songs, it's like, whoo. Check that dude out. He roars, man.
Yeah, that's what Vegemite will do for you.
That's exactly what it'll do for you. It's so awful that you have to be great in response
to overcome it.
Putting that garbage down your gullet. So there is an attorney who is suing the IRS. Right away, I like him.
Okay.
You go, brother. And he's got a very simple beef. He says, okay, I fill out my tax return every year and it says dependents. And then he looks around and he goes, well, okay, I got so let's say he has 3 kids. 1, 2, 3, but he's got pets. And he goes, why aren't they listed as dependents? They're a member of the family. They don't work. They're not making at least, $5,000 a year. I'm sorry, they're not working, but they're exceeding in expenses at least $5,000 a year. That's the IRS intent of dependency. This particular attorney, I should say it's a woman. She says, I have an 8-year-old golden retriever. This animal does not have independent income. Just to remind you, no independent income.
Lazy.
This animal lives exclusively with me. This is just like when you're talking about your kids. And yes, the annual expenses exceed $5,000. This means my golden retriever is a dependent. To which I say, if your golden retriever's a dependent, Chauncey Gorman is 3 or 4 dependents. So let's get this woman a Nobel Prize for helping us out. What do you think? Should pets be included in your tax return as dependents?
My gut reaction is just, this is utter silliness. But then I think about it, I'm like, if people that have kids, people that don't have kids, it's that they look at them as their kids. Like, I don't know.
The IRS considers pets to be property. Now that right away, it's like, okay, that hurts.
That's messed up.
That's a kick in the shins.
Yeah.
These pets, Chauncey and Milo, they're members of the family. I mean,
they are.
Ask my kids if they're members of the family or if they're property. Trust me, the answer is very clear. What do you think? Should we allow for pets to be dependents? I tell you what, if we did, all those shelters would get cleared out. People would be adopting animals. Of course, that probably wouldn't be the greatest situation if you're adopting an animal for a tax rate. Okay, forget I said that. But for those of us who already have pets and who already love them,
well, I don't know. Those that are forced into adoption because they want the tax break. I mean, they're required to keep the pet alive.
Well, yeah, I guess alive beats something else. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think? 651-989 Rock is the Luther Westside Volkswagen Talking text line. An attorney is suing the IRS. She is saying, quite simply, listen, my dog should be able to be listed as a dependent on my tax return. My dog has no independent income. My dog lives exclusively with me. My dog has annual expenses exceeding $5,000. I wish Chauncey was only a $5,000 a year dog.
Yeah,
well, on
like
a good year he is, but there have been years where he has gone way overboard. Mr. Backwards himself. Not only does he have the born-in weird organ lung condition, he did jump out in front of a bus a couple years ago. That was always fun.
Right.
Yeah, the broken leg, the surgery.
What?
Oh yeah. No, he's a goof.
Chauncey.
No, he's a knucklehead. You let me add him as a dependent, man. I am down for that one. That makes perfect sense to me. I mean, what do the tortoises cost you in a year?
Well, they've got to go to the vet and they've got to get their mouths, like their beak and their nails clipped. And it for 2 of them, it runs about $350.
Okay.
So plus food, they're eating people food. I was digging into, is pet food taxed? And yes, it is. But they eat like lettuce and one of them eats fruit, so that I'm not paying tax on that.
Does the average vet know what to do with a tortoise, or do you have to find a specific vet in town? Like, if I just go to any vet off the street and go, hey, I got a tortoise, are they going to look at me like I'm crazy?
There's probably, if you're way out in the outskirts, you might be running into a just cats and dogs vet. But I'd say in town, there's probably one person that works there that does like exotic animals.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Good to know. Fair enough. 651-989-ROCK. Let me slow down. 651-989-ROCK.
Yeah.
That's your Luther Westside Volkswagen Talking text line, Paul.
I like this one from Al and Elko. If you're willing to go sit at the IRS office to get your animal with a social security number, then I think you should be able to.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'd do that.
All right.
Vince in St. Cloud says, pets can be sold. Well, I would argue animals can be sold. A pet would never be sold.
That's just he's saying so. Therefore, it is property because you can sell them.
Because you can sell a pet.
Got it.
If it was property and we were a business and my kitty cat was operating at a loss, which she is, would I not get a tax deduction for that?
Wow. That sounds like it makes sense. I can't follow that sort of linear thinking sometimes. But hey, good point, Ryder.
All right.
What else we got?
Wally in Brooklyn Center says, my chickens say they need me, so let's do this. Tax breaks for all the animals.
Yeah, man, come on.
Now, the chickens, Wally might be operating those at a profit.
That's very true.
Maybe he should be paying in on those.
Okay. All right. We'll see. Let us know your thoughts. We're here all day, guys. Come on. Let us know. I'm just really thrilled at the idea. You know what? I'm down with this, especially if they make it retroactive. Let me go back 7 years of tax returns for Chauncey Gorman.
Yes.
Oh, they should because you got to keep that crap.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, I like it.
Our buddy Jessi Pierce is joining us on the show right now. She's on the horn. Bar Down Beauties podcast, NHL.com. Jessi, let's get right to it. The Quinn Hughes trade. Did you have any sort of a heads up? Was there any card tip in your favor that knew this might have been coming down the pike?
Not at all. I'm convinced my kids asked Santa because that's what we were doing in that moment for Quinn Hughes to come to Minnesota. And they must be on the nice list because it happened. No, we were out enjoying a family evening. Most people living their lives. I had no idea that Minnesota was even considering such a thing, let alone that they would actually be the winners of this lottery. Huge moment in Minnesota Wild franchise history.
So obviously, there was fist bumps, there was a backflip. What was your reaction? Did you actually think it might be a hoax?
I thought it was fake. I had to check a number of counts. Of course, Elliot Friedman first reported, Michael Russo following up, and those are two incredibly trusted sources. But I'm like, there's just no way. Like, where did this come from? But then a ton of excitement. My husband, God bless him, he knows how this is part of my career. I'm like, we have to podcast. I have to do this. So it turned into a very frantic, chaotic Friday evening, but a ton of fun, a ton of excitement in general. I joined the Wild fan base in celebrating it. Bill Guerin mentioning he fist pumped. I had a fist pump too because huge win for Minnesota here.
Unbelievable. Hey Jessi, it's Fletcher. I think we just need to put a white beard on Mr. Bill Guerin and get him a magic sleigh because the dude is legitimately Santa Claus this time. I mean, go ahead.
I was going to say, I joked with him because remember he was talking about Christmas in July with free agency and the ability of him being able to have money to spend, and unfortunately there weren't any free agents available. So I said, oh, you just waited for Christmas instead. He goes, exactly, it's Christmas at Christmas now.
Absolutely. I was hockey hot and bothered all weekend long. Were you the same way? As a hockey fan, it was just like it was one of those things where you couldn't wait until Sunday at 5 o'clock.
Exactly. I mean, after I think I woke up Saturday morning and just rechecked, and I'm like, nope, it wasn't a dream. Like this is the reality, And then Sunday, I was just so excited to see Quinn Hughes in that jersey, just to make it real. Because again, Minnesota fans, they've never had a superstar that is known across the league. It brings that spotlight to Minnesota, to the Minnesota Wild, who have been having such a tremendous run as well. Just a really, really exciting time in St. Paul and across the state.
Jessi Pierce is with us on Gorman in the Morning. I mentioned early in the show, as a guy who just watches hockey when it's on and always enjoys it, but I'm anything but a specialist or an expert. He just looks different on the ice. He moves differently. It was obvious to me putting on the TV, like, oh, that's that new guy. He is, in your opinion, where does he rank defensemen in the league? Clearly a top 3, top 5. What do you think?
Top three. I mean, Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes are neck and neck, I would say, even to go that far. Quinn Hughes tilts the ice. I mean, there was a swagger. Philip Gustafson, I think, used that exact term, that we had a little swagger. And you saw just this extra injection of confidence in the Minnesota Wild having a guy like that. And you got to consider, this is a man who, had a whirlwind of 48 hours, who flew in from New Jersey on Saturday. His gear did not make the initial flight because it was left in his brother's car because they didn't know it was there. Got there Sunday morning, and he had to join a whole new team, a new setup, a new system. But again, he's such an elite player that you wouldn't have really known. There were a couple of flubs, but other than that, I mean, you after get a practice under these guys, they'll get a little chemistry going. Within a week, you're just going to be absolutely blown away from even what you saw on Sunday.
So it obviously the season going all green flags for the Wild, but then this is just throwing a gallon of gas on a fire already. Do you now look at this team? And again, we've only seen one game. It's 3 days old, this news. Do you look at the Wild? How differently, I should say, do you look at them? Is this a championship contender?
It has to be. I think that's exactly what this move signified when Bill Guerin made it, is this has to be a Stanley Cup contending team. You've got a great goaltending tandem. You have Kirill Kaprizov and Matt Boldy lifting your offense. Your defense has now been completed with Quinn Hughes, who also, by the way, contributes very well offensively. So you have all of these different pieces, plus you have your third and fourth liners chipping in. If you can just get healthy and stay healthy, which seems to be a common theme surrounding the organization, there's very few teams that can beat you, because not to mention the two teams that are better than the Minnesota Wild in the West, which unfortunately also in the Central Division, Colorado and Dallas. Minnesota has bested Colorado and Dallas this year already. So, I mean, it's going to be a gauntlet for sure, but I would be remiss to say that they're not Stanley Cup contenders now.
I've heard a bunch of experts compare the Wild now to the Avalanche, not just in the talent, but the way that their talent breaks down, because they've got a set. Both teams essentially have three-headed monsters. With the Avs, you've got McKinnon, Cale Makar, and a guy by the name of Martin Necas. Now we've got Kaprizov, Boldy, Quinn Hughes. But I want to focus on. All right, so the biggest day I would say in Wild history is the Preezy Suter Day. Now, you can argue how that went, but do you see it the same way? That's the biggest day. This is the second biggest day, or how do you see it?
Easily, I would say Quinn Hughes slightly bigger because he's 26. Zach and Ryan were 28 when they were coming, so you are getting not only an elite player, but you are getting him in his absolute prime at 26 years old. Not that 28 is old. I hate saying that because I'm 10 years senior of that, but no, I mean, it's just a little step above Zach and Ryan, but those two, yeah, exactly. I mean, that day was just as exciting. 4th of July celebrations. It's even more exciting, I think, for Quinn to come in now during the season, too, where it's like, okay, turn the key up, get the engine going, we're off.
My last thing for you, and we're focusing on this season, next season, trying to win a cup, obviously, but what do you think the odds are that, Bill Guerin had to have had a conversation with him and his agent prior to the trade about an extension, right?
Mm-hmm. Bill Guerin, we asked him that when we spoke with him on Saturday, right before he went to get Quinn, and I thought he addressed it well. He said, you can't make promises. A player can't make promises. Nobody can make promises. So I'm sure there have been conversations, and he knows Pat Breeden, Quinn Hughes' agent, very well. But I think Quinn really rounded it out nicely yesterday and said, I am extremely open-minded to that idea because, as he mentioned, he loves that Bill Guerin, quote-unquote, backed up and made the move he did by trading away 3 really important assets to the Minnesota Wild franchise. And Quinn said, that's something I will remember, and that's something I'm not going to forget. And I think, while there might not be the solidified reassurance, I think there's a very good possibility that the Minnesota Wild are in serious conversation about that.
Awesome. All right, so we can all agree it's a great day in the history of the Wild. We can all agree there's nothing more hockey than a superstar saying, oh, wait, my gear's in my brother's car.
Yeah, right?
Just real quick for people who aren't super plugged in, what did we lose in this trade? Who went away?
You lost Marco Rossi, which point getter. He had been injured. He did come back and play for Vancouver in his debut yesterday as well. Z Bouillon, a phenomenal prospect defenseman. He had seen good ice time this season. Very excited about him, drafted by the Minnesota Wild this past summer. And then Liam Ogren, who hadn't really been getting his shape, left a lot to be desired. But he's getting that opportunity now in Vancouver, and then a 2026 first round. So it was a haul for Vancouver, but truly I think it works out well for both teams. You can't win big if you don't give big either, and that's what Bill Guerin did in this case.
Right on, Jesse. Always a pleasure. Congrats to you. I know it's pretty exciting, but we're all feeling it right now. So I'm sure we'll be talking very soon. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Bryan Miller is in studio with us. Very funny gentleman. He's been on the show before. You will be at the Acme Comedy Club New Year's Eve with Nate Abshire, and then January 2nd and 3rd. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did. And that way we have, New Year's Eve is a busy holiday. So, if you have other plans, you can take a night off. So, sober up on Thursday.
Got it.
Back out 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, and 2 shows on New Year's Eve. So
Boy, it just goes to show the thinking, the concern, like giving people a day to sober up before they come back and see you. That's
it's not at all for us or anything.
No.
It's definitely for the audience.
That's what I'm thinking. That's a very good job. So your winter is off and running on the right good foot. How was your weekend, Bryan Miller?
Yeah, I had my boiler go out Saturday, I don't know, a little after midnight apparently.
Boy. So you at some point just woke up realizing I'm really cold?
Yeah, I woke up thinking, boy, it's really weirdly cold. The wife must have left a window open, and I went downstairs, and she was scowling with the phone in her hand, calling the guy. They're diligently installing a new radiator right now, or a new boiler now.
Wait a minute.
Damn.
Your first thought was my wife left a window open?
Yeah, of course. I don't know how long you've been married, but anything that goes wrong in the house, both of us instantly blame the other person, and then we work backwards from there.
That's fair.
Whereas I'm blown away that your wife was already on the phone to someone else, having not already woken you up going, what did you do wrong? Blaming you for this.
True. Of course. I think she went downstairs, looked to see if it was my fault, assessed that it wasn't, and then she said... She's like, well, you were, what are you going to do? I'm going to call the guy. What's a good thing you're going to do for you? But so I appreciated the extra 2 hours of sleep.
Wow. So what temperature does a house without a boiler get down to over the weekend?
49 tonight.
That's pretty chilly.
Getting nerve-wrackingly close to boiler freezing temperature, right?
Yeah.
So burning candles, and we've been making cookies and meatballs, and just like anything we can to keep
in the middle of the night.
Just anything. Yeah. Now, luckily, football Sunday, that was the saver. If you have to be stuck inside, it was like, all right, I'll just watch football for 9 hours and sit here with a heating pad.
Yep.
And, worse things have happened. And I had a bottle of holiday gin that we were planning on having some Christmas martinis. Became essential supplies.
Sure. Holiday gin, football gin, it's all the same.
It's all the same. It's all gin eventually.
You get through it. Very nice. We were talking earlier. You follow the Wild? You a hockey guy? Did you ever lace them up yourself? Do that in reverse order. Did you ever play as a kid?
Okay, so I played inline hockey because I love hockey, but I'm from the South, and there were no ice rinks nearby. So we would play on rollerblades in indoor soccer arenas.
Right.
With the boards and stuff. So it's not as fast.
I got a couple of buddies that love that.
If you don't have ice, it was really fun. So we played in like a traveling league, so we travel all around. I was a defenseman.
Nice. Wow. All right. You know what? Inliners can play just like hockey players. It's still hockey. It's a little different skating style, obviously, but it's still hockey.
It is slower. You can't get as fast as you get on the ice.
For sure.
So I enjoy it. So I like going to the Wild games when I can. I wrote a story for City Pages when it existed about Connor Beaupre, who was the emergency backup goalie.
Yeah,
he was
E-bug.
a great guy.
Yeah, he is a great guy.
Awesome
and the son of a legend.
Yeah,
100%.
I think all sports should have an emergency backup something.
It's amazing.
It's the coolest thing ever.
Every sport should have a thing where like one person in the stadium is dead as like an attendee, right? When you get the ticket, they go, "You got the golden ticket. If we really need a third base coach, you're coming in," or whatever. Yeah. Just to know that you might be summoned.
Absolutely.
Is really something else.
And could represent either team, by the way.
Yes, exactly. That's what's amazing is like you might play against the Wild as the Wild's emergency backup goalie.
I mean, you had the dude a couple of years ago, David Ayers. He was the Zamboni driver.
Yeah.
And he ends up playing NHL minutes. It was insanity.
That was what inspired the article about Connor was when because he played and he made some saves.
Right,
and
fair enough.
And so I started looking into it.
And we could bring that over to the world of comedy. Every club should have on hand somebody who, depending on how the set's going, either fills in for the comic or a heckler. Either one.
Oh, that'd be interesting. But you don't know which it is. You draw the card. And you're like, all right, it looks like I'm going to make fun of this guy, or I got to go to 2 minutes.
How's the modern heckling scene? Have we all outgrown that, or do you still get people that think that they're going to go toe-to-toe with someone who does this for a living?
It doesn't happen as often as people think in general, but I think there was a little spike in it because people started putting up those crowd work videos. There's a really terrible comic whose name I won't name.
I know exactly who you speak of.
It starts with an S-S-H, if you know who he is. He's an awful person and an awful comic, and he would do all these ginned up, fake, terrible crowd work videos. But they did start getting traction because people like conflict, and the algorithm on social media promotes conflict, right? So then what happened is people saw so many of those that they just understandably kind of thought, well, that's what you do. That's how it goes. So you would see this little rash of what were weirdly like hecklers who didn't know they weren't even doing anything wrong. They were like, because before it was always just really drunk guy or really drunk girl.
Sure.
And that is still like 99% of the time.
Yep.
Most people don't actually want to go toe to toe.
No, I've always been I've only seen it a handful of times. I've been to a lot of comedy shows, and I'd say, I mean, dozens and dozens, and probably 4 times I've seen someone actually think, I'm going to be a part of this. And even like a middleman, not the headliner, like someone who's, on their way up and doing, but anybody that does that regularly is just so much more suited to make you look like a fool. And it's actually enjoyable just watching someone get humiliated, especially when they're too dumb to realize that's what's happening. I actually enjoy that. For you, it's got to be like, oh, come on, man. What are you doing?
Yeah, when I get annoyed, the worst ones are, and I had one like this a couple of weeks ago at a brewery here in the Burbs. Great show overall, but the lady wanted you to make fun of her. She wanted to be part of the show, but she wanted to be insulted, and so there was unfortunately kind of like, I mean, I did finally get her to stop, but at a certain point, it wasn't like, oh, I burned her. It's like, well, that's what she wants. So you have to kind of steer away from the skid. But me, I'm baffled by that. Can you imagine going to like an art museum and just screaming at one of the paintings? That'd be a strange thing to do.
Right, right.
Why are you screaming?
Yeah.
Dutch
you're
master.
right. Yeah, 100%.
What's up with those lily pads?
Bryan Miller's with us in studio on Gorman in the Morning. Bryan is at Acme New Year's Eve and then January 2nd and 3rd with Nate Abshire, who was here last week.
Oh, nice.
The two of you will arm wrestle for who goes on when.
We co-headlined New Year's like 10 years ago now. It's been a while, maybe something like that. And so it was a competition kind of to see who could do better. And what we found was whoever goes second does better because the other person does well and everyone's excited.
Yeah.
And so we're just going to alternate back and forth because I actually would kind of prefer to go first. I kind of like a blank slate crowd where you can kind of take him any direction you want. But Nate and I are also not so different that it's not like when I go up, they're like totally off in the wrong zone or whatever.
Gotcha.
So we found we call it burying somebody. We really wanted to bury each other as a spiteful friend thing.
Of course.
But what we discovered was the harder we tried to bury the other person, all we did was make the crowd more excited for them.
Right.
Which is what you want, I guess.
Yeah, because I mean, you're making them feel sorry for the other, so then they go on and they kill because you spent so much energy burying them.
Well, we tried, but they're having more fun, and then the person goes up, and the other person goes up, and it goes great.
It's such a warm environment when terms like kill, bomb, bury each other. Those are the words we use to 100%. Describe the set.
It is. It's a very violent language around comedy. Yeah.
And so, comedy for you started how old?
I was about 27 years old.
Okay, a little later than most first time.
Yeah.
So what was going on up until then? Like college age era, like 18 to 27, what was the life plan?
Went to college, graduated, was a newspaper editor for several years. So I was just doing the newspaper thing, and then I was like, you know what? I want to change. I don't want to do this forever.
Yeah.
It was being in the newspapers was one of the few jobs where you could actually get into comedy as a security backup. I was like, I got to find something that's slightly less risky, and actually, so it turns out that was the way to go.
Stand-up comedy is slightly less risky than writing for the paper.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So let me ask you this: at 20, you're in your mid-20s. You're contemplating this big change. Were you talking about it with friends? And did you have any friends who your same age peers going, "Don't do it, man. You're crazy. You're throwing your life away."
100%.
Are these people still your friends?
Yeah, because they really meant well. Because they were like, "This is pretty crazy." Because I moved up here, so it's like I'm moving 10 hours away, and I'm starting a really weird job for which you don't.
And
know
you
how
were in
to get
Illinois,
hired.
is that right?
Yeah,
I'm remembering this now.
Southern Illinois,
that's
by
right.
Carbondale.
Salukis, baby.
Salukis, absolutely. Yeah.
That's right. It's all coming back to me now.
Right.
And then you came here. What brought? I mean, this is a great comedy town, but did you know what led you to know that, or why did you feel like this was the place to go?
Well, So my wife is from here, and we were going to move to a city so I could start comedy.
Oh, that
and my
helps.
argument was, this is already a good town, comedy town. I loved Acme.
Sure.
I wanted to work there.
Yeah.
And I said, if we move to if we move to Atlanta or Denver, some other comedy city, now we're going to have to visit each of our parents in separate trips. That's 2 trips a year minimum. So I said, if we live in Minneapolis, we only have to go visit my parents.
Yeah.
And so that was actually weirdly my calculus. And I had heard that Minneapolis was a great comedy town.
Right.
Went to Acme, loved it, and was like, let's go here.
And if her parents are here and your boiler stops working, you have a place to go if you need to.
Yes,
warm
exactly.
Up.
I probably will go over there and take a hot shower later this afternoon.
Yeah. So listen, the in-laws, it comes in handy.
Hey, they're very nice people. Yeah. Although I did drink most of the Christmas gin, so we might have to go get some more Christmas gin.
There's always more gin.
There's always more gin.
There's always more gin in the Twin Cities. It's always money in the banana stand.
There, now we're talking.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, which just that reminds me, so many comedians they get into it and you're doing really well. Are you writing? Are you thinking of developing other projects? Is stand-up it for you? I mean, or what's the day in the life? How many other doors are you trying to open?
I'm always doing other stuff. I've been a writer for a long time, so I write fiction and essays. I write about movies a lot. And I'm working, I can't say what it is, but I'm working on a super secret sports project right now. That's going to be very cool. But it hasn't been announced yet. That's going to be a big, that'll be a big one.
It's fantastic. Does the stand-up comedy brain ever turn off? Even when you're writing other projects, are you constantly, can you go an hour without having at least a thought of a start of a joke or a story? Because I would think every single thing that happens to you, everything you observe has potential.
It's more like the observation. It's not that you're making jokes about everything. It's like you just have to train your brain to like look for jokes.
Right.
It's like I had a friend who was a mushroom forager, and he took me out mushroom foraging, and I couldn't find any. And everywhere he went, he was like tripping over mushrooms. And he's like, you train your brain to look for them, and your eyes start to see them. It's very much the same with jokes, with possible premises and joke fodder that it's not like, I saw a guy slip on a sponge and fall off a ladder or something. It's not always obvious, but you see some quirky little thing or some strange little interaction. You go, oh yeah, spotted a joke in the wild right there. That's a joke right there.
Yeah.
You don't know what the joke is, so then you got to go home with your notebook and write it out.
Yeah. Right. So along the way, you've been doing this a long time now. Is there a joke that comes to mind where you wrote it and you felt like, by God, I have. This is the apex, and then it just never clicked. It didn't work.
Oh, all the time.
You really thought you had a piece of gold, and it just never really delivered.
Most comics will tell you that they always joke. We always say that like if you write something in your notebook and you laugh out loud, you go, "Oh, that's a good one." It's gonna fail. That's guaranteed. When you're really happy with it, it will fail. When you write a good one, to me, when you actually know, is when you think someone has to have done that before.
Oh,
because it feels obvious to you, and then you ask your friends, and they go, "Dude, that's great. No one's done that." That's actually when you've stumbled on something good, when it feels like it must have existed.
As a drummer, as a musician, I've said this for years because it's entirely true. When I'm on stage and I'm thinking to myself, "Man, I've never been better." Those are invariably the gigs. Someone says, "Tough night, huh?"
Yeah.
Does it feel the same way to you when you walk off stage? Not even so much just on crowd reaction, but if you feel like it's happening, if you feel in the moment, in the set, that it's just so easy and you're just on fire, do you then walk off stage and go, who am I kidding? I mean, is there a disconnect between feeling it in the moment and then what it later feels like looking back at it?
Well, comedy's so binary, right? You either get the laugh or you don't. So in that sense, you do know how well you did. What I would say the real danger is when before you go on stage, you say, I'm feeling real good. This is going to be a good show.
Yeah.
You actually want a little bit of nerves.
Got to work at it.
The worst thing you can do is not be nervous at all. Actually try to conjure up just a little bit of nerves because you want that little tension to build off of.
Yeah.
The worst shows I have are when I go, I'm really good at this. This is going to be a great show. I'm just going to walk up there and then... Yeah,
you know what though? How many times can we say that in almost every aspect of life? Where when you come, you got plenty of sleep. Mm-hmm. You come super prepared. You're there early, and then everything goes haywire.
Yeah.
The day that you feel like crap, you get there at the last second, and you feel underprepared is when you have your best moments. Almost any almost any medium, it seems like.
I think you're right. Yeah, you get there and they go, hey, you have to go on 5 minutes earlier than you thought. The guest spot's not here, and you run on stage, or absolutely. But
when you're frazzled,
so safe to say you felt really confident coming into here today.
I was set.
I'm just
excited.
Look what happened.
I'm excited about the heat. This is the warmest I've been in 36 hours.
Nice.
Hey man, if nothing else, we can provide you with heat. As far as we know, knock on wood.
I'm going to lay down next to your dog on your dog's bed.
Oh, no, he'll warm you right up. That'll be pretty great.
Be cozy and adorable.
Yeah. What album, music, have you listened to more than any other in your life?
It's a Talking Heads Stop Making Sense live album, no question. I mean, by a factor of like 1 million.
They re-released that in theaters a couple years ago. I've seen it 50 times, and of course I had to go right to a theater to watch it for the 51st time.
I saw it 5 times in the theater when they re-released it.
Yeah. It's just inarguably the greatest concert film of all time.
I actually think it's the greatest piece of American art of the last 50 to 75 years.
Wow. I'm not going to argue.
It's the perfect synthesis of Jonathan Demme, a brilliant filmmaker, capturing a brilliant band.
Right.
Everything is in sync. It's sound, it's sight, it's motion. I mean, every single thing about it is considered but loose.
Watched it enough where I have found myself thinking, all right, I'll find something. I'll nitpick. There's going to be something. Someone in the background, someone off to the side. It's not there. It is perfect.
Yeah, and then when you see it on the big screen with the big sound, I mean, it's
incredible.
Unbelievable.
Puts me in a good mood just thinking about it, sincerely. Artist you've seen the most times?
Oh, I don't like the answer to this one, but I'll tell you anyway.
That's why I love.
When I was in college, I was a bit of a Dave Matthews Band follower.
Sure you were.
We were into all the jam bands. Right. But we saw probably more Dave than we saw like Fish and Widespread Panic.
Right.
Yeah, we did a lot of the traveling around with the hippies.
I thought that was going to go way more south than it actually did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'm glad, because I'm always like, oh, this is not. I come to be like, well, I've seen Wet Leg like 70 times, even though they're only 5 years old or something like that. But no, the answer is
no. Dave,
you set me up for Backstreet Boys and you gave me DMB. A very nice turn right there.
Yeah.
Bryan Miller is at Acme Comedy New Year's Eve, 2 shows. January 2nd and January 3rd, 2 shows with all of our mutual buddy Nate headlining. Matt, it's always a pleasure, sir.
Always great to be here.
If there's anything we can do for you, if you need to stay a little longer just to warm up, we've got a coffee machine. We can do whatever we need.
Yeah, I'm going to sleep next to your dog and drink all your coffee. Is that
right on, brother. It's
Excellent.
a plan. Happy to stick around for some headlines, Paul Fletcher. So lay them on us. What do we got?
All right, we'll see if this resonates with you, Brian. 15 years ago this weekend, the Metrodome's Teflon roof collapsed due to heavy snow. It was the dome collapse heard around the world. The Vikings were set to host the New York Giants that day. The game was moved to Monday night at Ford Field in Detroit, a game the Vikings lost 21-3 in a pretty not such a great season. They finished last in the NFC North, 6-10. Brad Childress was fired just weeks before the collapse after a 3-7 start. Just all in all, an awesome collapse to an awesome season.
Was that? Am I nuts, or was that Brett Favre's last year?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think that was the year after they went to the NFC Championship.
Right. That checks out. I think he'd already kind of been injured and he was done, but I feel like he was playing that year.
I have a piece of the roof. A fan after the show one time brought me a piece of the Metrodome roof from the collapse.
Oh, no way.
So I have it on my wall, framed. He
Oh, man.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah, that beats a seat from Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Why have a relic from some place where success reigns supreme?
Yeah, exactly.
Piece of that collapsed roof. That's great.
Legendary filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle Singer were found dead Sunday at their Brentwood home in what police are describing as an apparent homicide. Reiner, of course, known for so many things, but like you mentioned earlier, Steve, went on a directorial run in the mid-'80s, early 90s, Spinal Tap, Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, A Few Good Men, Stand By Me, among so many others. LAPD responded around 3:40 yesterday. Reports indicate victims were stabbed, and now the sources are saying it was their son.
Pretty incredible. Here's the list. 84 Spinal Tap, 85 The Sure Thing, 86 Stand By Me, 87 The Princess Bride, 89 When Harry Met Sally, 90 Misery, 92 A Few Good Men. Just so you know, takes a while to make a movie.
Yeah.
It's not. That's not like, hey, 6 weeks here and there. No, that's most of a year. And for those many years in a row, 5 straight bangers and then 7 in 9 years. What an incredible streak for a guy who will be thought of in Hollywood circles for way more than simply being a director. What a tremendous career for a really great guy as well.
Yeah, I'm a big movie guy, and I have this movie game where I say, you pick a director. You got to name a director who made 3 great movies in a row. Mm-hmm. Sounds easy, but even like Scorsese, Spielberg, they'll have 2 bangers, 2 classics, and then a little misfire. Yeah. Reiner is the secret answer to that. The other one's John McTiernan, who did Hunt for Red October, Predator, and Die Hard in a row. Right. No one ever thinks of him, but Reiner has 5 in a row, undeniable. No one can argue with that run, and he's the secret answer. Yep. That's incredible. I mean, him and like William Wyler were like the only 2.
That's it. Incredible.
Very sad. A skydiver in Queensland, Australia is lucky to be alive after his parachute deployed right when he jumped out of the plane. Here's Angus Mitchell. He's the Chief Commissioner of Air Traffic in Australia.
Without having that hook knife, we most likely would have seen a very different outcome. Calm and collected actions from the parachutist, but equally for the pilot involved as well. The pilot was faced with an aircraft that at that stage didn't have the control that he would expect.
Parachutist about to jump out of the plane, and his auxiliary chute comes out, and the wind catches him, and then it gets caught on the back wing of the plane, the tail wing. And so he's dangling from a plane at 15,000 feet. Sure, and he has to pull out a knife and cut himself loose. Just the video is spine tingling to say the very least.
Plus, he got to say, "That's not a knife."
That's exactly right. Now that's not a knife. Yes. And then he offered him some Panadol for the headache, mate. If you see that film, if you saw that in a movie, you'd be like, "That no way." It's one of those.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Total Mission Impossible stuff.
I was going to say Tom Cruise is like, I have to go do that now.
That's exactly right. Make no mistake. Let's talk sports, shall we? How about the Minnesota Wild picking up a gentleman from the Vancouver Canucks by the name of Quinn Hughes, one of the greater players in the world right now, and certainly one of the top defensemen. The 7th overall draft pick in 2018. This is the face of the Vancouver Canucks. It is now one of the faces of the Minnesota Wild. Hughes showed up on Saturday, got his first experience with the Wild last night, late yesterday afternoon, in a 6-2 win over the Boston Bruins. And as long as he's here, why not go ahead and do this?
Hughes in. He scores! Welcome to Minnesota.
Spurgeon, Kaprizov with 2, Ryan Hartman, Matt Boldy gave the other goals. That was a season-high 6 goals in Hughes' debut for the Wild last night. This is a tremendous pickup. We talked to Jessie Hughes an hour ago. She said, in her mind, this is the biggest day in Wild history, the biggest trade, certainly, in Wild history.
I mean, I'm still giddy. To get a top 3 defenseman, I'm going to say 1 or 2, at 26 years old, it just doesn't happen. Yeah. Forget about woe is me, Minnesota sports. This doesn't happen in sports, period. I don't care what city you're in. It just doesn't happen. So it's exciting. And the Wild are now absolutely a contender.
Yep.
It's just all there is to it.
Great. The Minnesota Vikings got their 2nd win in a row this week. Last night.
That's weird.
You can do that?
Sunday night. Yes, it's totally cool. The league does not prohibit back-to-back wins.
Oh, wow.
No.
This changes everything.
Not only did they get a win on Sunday night, they did it in Dallas, which the Cowboys have not been lighting the league up, but it's never an easy place to go play, especially when the entire world is focused on you. The Sunday night game, the standalone game, J.J. McCarthy, an interception on his first pass, second play from scrimmage, but he turned it around. After that, he went 15 of 24, 250 yards passing, his high yet. 2 touchdowns in the air, and ran one in on a naked bootleg where he did the gritty as he crossed the end zone. Celebrating, having the time of his life. J.J. McCarthy, like, hey, guys, no, really, I told you. I kind of know what I'm doing. Very nice to see him turning things around the last couple of weeks. And if you look at the season now, which is by no means a success, Okay, he beat the Bears on Monday night to start the season.
Okay.
He beat the Lions in Detroit.
Uh-huh.
And then now, back-to-back wins and a nice game last night. It's just all we were looking for was signs of improvement, and we certainly are seeing those. I'm feeling much better about J.J. McCarthy than I was a month ago. The Timberwolves got a win last night without Anthony Edwards, without Mike Conley, and also, leaving the game in the third quarter, Rudy Gobert just left the court and was after the game for reasons they described as personal reasons.
Oh,
that's all we know so far.
That's never good in sports. Anytime they say personal reasons, it's never like, I was just having such a good day.
No.
I had to go home.
Yeah.
Hope everybody's okay in Rudy's world. Ramsey, Minnesota. Ramsey.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, look at yourself, Ramsey.
I like it.
Ramsey.
I like it, Ramsey. Hey, by the way, the
fantastic.
parachuter, obviously that's something to be seen on our Instagram, Facebook now at 92KQRS if you want to check it out.
Yeah, take a look at that.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning. Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Monday morning mixtape time. Let's talk about your Christmas bonus. What song comes to mind? Let's fire up that Christmas bonus Monday morning mixtape. Ryder, I say Christmas bonus. What musical anecdote occurs to you?
Okay, little background here. So about a month ago, the head of the entire company, her name is Mary Berner, sent out a video to staff detailing that we were going to get both Friday, December 26th and Friday, January 2nd as company holidays. In case there was any mistaken for anybody new in the room here, that is our Christmas bonus, kids. So therefore, and I am thankful for it, and therefore, here we go. Little Friday, I'm in Love from The Cure.
Man, always, it's never a bad time to hear that particular song.
Agreed.
And this is especially applicable. Paul Fletcher, what comes to mind?
So, growing up, the word bonus gets into your vernacular early on as a young kid, right? And the problem with me is I'd heard about these bonuses, but then I got into radio.
Right.
As my career.
Okay.
And so I've basically self-inflicted not many bonuses at all. And so I'm going with I hurt myself today.
Oh, boy. You just brought it upon yourself.
I have nobody to blame but myself. I can point the finger at others, but it's really my own fault. No swimming pool for me.
Again, never a bad time to hear The Man in Black.
Oh God, it's so good. He's so damn good.
Similar to you a little bit. I get pies in the eyes. I get that sort of like, oh man, hey, it's been a good year around here. We're probably gonna make out like bandits.
Sure.
And then of course reality does hit me, and I go straight back, of course, to the Rolling Stones.
But you get what you need.
Yeah. Before I was doing radio full time, I was a musician, and trust me, there was no Christmas bonuses in that racket either. I'm still wondering.
What?
No,
the label didn't send you a Jelly of the Month Club certificate?
No, hell no.
If anything, you had to be the guy that paid out bonuses.
No, that's exactly right. Back in the 90s, when there were record companies and there was a music industry and a business, the label would be like, hey, you guys had a good year, we'll take care of you. And that usually meant they gave our singer something. They were like, I don't know, give the singer a new Xbox. It'd be like, wait a minute, what the hell?
But he was selfless. He would share.
Yeah, always. Go team. All right, listen, we're going to be loading up this mixtape. 651-989-ROCK is your Luther Westside Volkswagen Talk and Text line. Let us know what song comes to mind when you think about your Christmas bonus. There's got to be a text or two to share quickly.
Gotten a couple. 320 number says, all three of your choices along with Welcome to the Jungle. For all of us teachers, especially middle school teachers, we get a kick in the pants plus a week of chaos.
There you go.
And then the random gifts from the kids and parents. Like,
That's right.
I don't know if
Exactly
that's
right.
actually helping a teacher out there.
And then another one, being the resident Pearl Jam nerd of the group here, I'm a little embarrassed that Tony beat me to the punch on Temple of the Dogs. I'm going hungry. Hunger Strike. Why didn't I come up with that one, Tony? Well played. Well played.
Let's lay it down, shall we?
All right.
All right.
Christmas bonus mixtape, side A from Jerry. We've got a little something by the Smashing Pumpkins, the song Zero.
I think he's just throwing that one out there because of the title.
Yeah,
right.
That's got to be it.
Mm-hmm.
Eric coming in strong with a little Bachman Turner Overdrive. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that could go either way.
It could certainly go either way.
Maybe it's a positive. Maybe it's a great bonus, or
could be.
Maybe not so much.
Yeah, I think he's going on the whole, ain't seen nothing yet, ain't going to see nothing. Mm-hmm. The next one, Jay-Z, Hard Knock Life.
There we go.
Yeah, we all know that one.
Yep, everybody's lived that one, I think, probably.
Chris came in with ZZ Top's Just Got Paid. Hey, right on.
Nice
Lucky.
Work,
Good for you, Chris.
All right, Chris with a K, feeling it.
Proud of you.
That little old man from Texas, kind of good at what they're doing. Yeah. Just unsolicited recommendation. Go see him if you can, because Billy Gibbons still plays the hell out of that guitar.
Absolutely.
How about this one from Naomi? Nothing for Christmas.
You know why that little girl's getting nothing for Christmas?
Why?
Because she ain't been nothing but bad.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing for you.
You reap what you sow, little punks.
Yeah.
Side B of the midweek mixtape of the Monday morning mixtape. Tracy and a few other people suggested the great Billy Preston, Nothing from Nothing.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'd say by far the most popular pick.
Yeah, no doubt. I haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah.
We're all just like, oh man, get it, Billy.
Good pull.
Don the Juan suggests The Who, You Better You Bet.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
I just like The Who. So I'm going to give it to Don the Juan. I don't know exactly what this has to do with his bonus.
Maybe he's going to bet it all.
Or maybe he's counting on it.
He's going to turn it into a better bonus by winning a wager. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, who may or may not have placed a parlay on games yesterday and come up short.
That could be it.
These things happen. Wow, Rochelle coming in strong with Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah, Rochelle actually texted in and said for my bonus song, or Stairway to Heaven for her bonus song, because it's going to go straight back to my employer's store. I work for a florist and greenhouse company, and we have a fabulous boutique.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that was the problem with the Target bonus, is they give you a gift card or some junk like that, and then you just go buy stuff from Target.
Wow. Okay.
She's going to pay hers right back in to whence it came.
Tom came in, as we mentioned earlier, a little Temple of the Dog hunger strike.
Yeah.
I don't mind stealing bread.
Yeah, you got to.
Man, sometimes this is what's called for.
Mm-hmm.
Got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, man. And then finally, let's wrap up side B. Mac D, our punk rock correspondent from North Carolina.
Very un-punk rock pick.
Came up with a little number from Fiddler on the Roof. If I were a rich man. Come on, man.
Oh, boy.
All the little Tevias within singing that one.
It just makes me giggle.
I played the title role in a local production of Fiddler on the Roof. I was the fiddler.
Oh.
Now, if you know that play, you know that that's a very tiny part, actually, as it turns out. I just had to sit on the roof of the set and pretend to be playing a fiddle on a few occasions.
Did they give you a prop fiddle, or did you have to okay, good.
Yes.
I didn't want you to have to pantomime or anything.
No. I was holding a fiddle with a bow that just weren't strings on it. So it looked like I was, and as far as I could tell, I was Itzhak Perlman up there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was selling that stuff.
I think you're not. Hey, you know what? Just before, sometimes mixtapes need to come with bonus tracks.
Okay.
And I know the deadline is come and gone, but we got a couple of good ones. I want to shout out Bork in Minneapolis. He said "Big Empty" from Stone Temple Pilots.
Oh, there you go.
That works. This just came in. And how did we not get more of "You're a Mean One, Minster Grinch"?
Oh, sure.
From Keith and Egan.
Yeah.
Nice work.
Both
Should
of
have
those.
sent them in sooner. They'd have been official contributions.
Both of those make a whole lot of sense. All right, there's your mixtape for the day. We've got a little bit of time left, just enough, in fact, for the last word.
92 KQRS.
As I just finished off my coffee for the morning, I just thought I'd take a moment and say, thanks, Caldi.
Okay.
Caldi, the Ethiopian goat herder in the 800s. Who noticed his goats were chewing on these red berries, and then they would get really energetic.
Wow.
And so he decided to try a few for himself, and he was like, whoa, I'm wide awake.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
Wow.
There's a dude, his name was Caldi, and he, observing his goats, chewing the red berries, getting a little excited, did the same for himself. And so he brought a bunch of these berries to some local monks, and he said, there's something in these berries. I don't know. Why don't you guys see what you can come up with? And they were like, throw them in the fire. And then it smelled so good. And then next thing you know, they're taking them and then putting them over hot water over the berries. One thing leads to another. That's where coffee came from.
Damn.
One dude is credited universally. And he had a name and he was around.
Wow.
And he was crap at marketing. Because, man, he missed an opportunity. So anyway, next time you look at a guy who's herding goats, think to yourself, maybe there's more to them than just being a goat herder. You never know.
That's right.
I'm giving credit to the goats for this one.
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
Yeah.
It's all about the goats. Hey, let's talk about the fact that tomorrow on this show, we're going to play a little WTF, Wisconsin, Texas, Florida, Steve's edition. That's me.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Russell Peters tickets will be on the table, yours for the taking if you win the game. And we will also check in with Jimmy Jam tomorrow.
Nice.
Cool.
Come on. Awesome. I'm looking forward to that. But before now and then, what about next, Fletcher?
You know what? Sometimes we can get music to mimic what's going on in the world. We just had our 10th Avenue freeze out this past weekend, so I'll get that going in the beginning of the 10 o'clock hour. But we're going to warm up as well, so we need Black Hole Sun as well. And then we go commercial free just after 11:45.
That all makes perfect sense. Keep it right here on Minnesota's 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning is also Gorman on the go. Get the 92 KQRS app and stream live or catch the Gorman in the morning podcast anytime. 92 KQRS.